around. How's it going, everybody? It's a Gregtech update video for 603.35. Excuse me, which came out today. And I built this little setup right here. This is for making glue, which is going to be needed in this update. And I thought I would show you guys how I do the filtering for it. So I'm only going to do one thing, which is going to make glue and latex, and the glue is still in the machine. The latex has gone out. Now I already have this universal cell of latex because I have this from way long ago and I just never emptied it. Welcome back, Skyra. And so I built these two tanks up here. You can see I don't have the pipe open. And I've got two filters up here. One of them is going to be for latex, one is going to be for glue. So you go into the filter here, take your universal cell, plop it in there, and then that'll put latex in there. And you need to have your wrench side, which is this side here, facing the inventory that you want it to go to, and the stuff that gets filtered will be on the filtery looking side. Whatever goes in that side will not get filtered. So, and you change that side with a monkey wrench. But now that will put all of the latex into here, and I can empty that in there like that. And I do believe if I wrench this closed now, there's different ways I do this, but if I wrench that closed, I do believe it's all connected down there. Then if I take my magnifying glass, see that has 1,144 liters of molten latex. That's the one I just put in it and what it got out of that one sticky resin. Because if we do recipe here, see you get 144 liters of latex out of one, and I should get 250 glue. So that needs to go into there, and because I don't have it in here, I can't pull it out of there. But what I should be able to do is that, which then puts the glue in there. Now I can pull the glue out. I can come into here, filter it, close the pipe. Now I have glue in this one and molten latex in that one. Now the other thing that I did, if we go back downstairs here, is I made a canning machine off to the side of it, which has another filter on it, which will allow the glue to go in. So I need to set this one to glue as well. And then I can do this to get my glue out of it and into the canning machine. Now the problem is I need that on the input. So what I can do just for this one is fluids, I think, come out this side. So we can actually do this loopy thingy here, and that should take it out and put it back on the other side if I'm correct. Let's see, fluids out, bottom or right, so I was wrong. So it's this side over here, or the bottom bottom actually be easier. So let's do this and see if we can get it on the right side there. So we'll go there and there, and around like that, and that should loop it right over there on the side I need it. And that should be the whole amount that was in there. So then I can take out this looped pipe because it's not needed anymore. Alright, so fix the floor real quick. And we'll throw a whole stack of this in here. And for anybody that didn't see it, this here is coming from my farm, which I placed quite a ways away. And I have stick reed over there, or sticky reed. And I have a chunk loader over there, so all I have to do is turn the power on and it'll automatically bring in sticky resin. So now that I have this set up, I'll turn it back on and I'll have this go right into this box and drop it off. I also have oil berries over there and some other stuff, so I'll have to make a regular filter to filter that out. But then I'll have a easy way of making the latex and the glue. The only problem with this way that I have it is because I don't have the filters right on the pipe like I do over there. It's going to do all the latex before it starts doing the glue because the latex is the first one. Now this is going to be the way I get all of my rubber from now on. The tanks are right on the other side of this wall here, so I'm going to bring my coagulators over here and just hook them up to the output of that latex tank and put them right over here, and that'll make my rubber. That way I got plenty of glue for anything I need. So the reason why I went through all that is one of the first things that was added is barrels, and one of the barrels needs glue. So see here we have a item barrel, which is a chest, 2 steel long rods, and 4 sealed wood planks. And I need a chest. Let me go make a chest real quick. These are basically a low grade mass storage, which I'm sure they're going to burn, so you got to be careful where to put them because they're made out of wood. But I am going to use these a lot. They hold 10,000. Let me look on the thing here, make sure. Item barrel made of sealed wood and a bit of steel for 10,000 items instead of the usual million from the mass storage. It's a cheap alternative. So I'm going to use these for things that I don't need that much storage. I'm probably going to make my periodic table out of these. This is a drum that was added. I'll talk about it in a little bit, but it's just 4 curved plates, 2 long plates. Get that out of the way. And now we're going to make this barrel, which is like this, and it needs a rubber hammer and a saw, or a wood hammer, and son of a gun. Oh, there we go. Thought I was actually out of them. Not the bow. I broke my ironwood one apparently. So there we go. There's our item barrel. These are not pickupable. You can't pick them up and retain their inventory, unfortunately, but looks just like a mass storage and should be able to break with a saw. So there we go. Shut that noisy thing off. So you'll see item barrel can store items of one type, capacity 10,000, can be used adjacent to advanced crafting tables. So if you needed to do something that had a butt ton of steel plates, you could put this adjacent to it and it would pull from it. Screwdriver to toggle mode. Monkey wrench to toggle automatic outputs. Should automatically output from the bottom, just like the mass storage. Soft hammer to reset it. Let's see if I put cobble in here. Let me put this back down, I guess. Would be a good idea. If I put cobble in there, it'll show there's one. I hit the one, takes it out, makes it 0, but it retains what it's supposed to have in there. So if I grab the soft hammer here and I give it a good whacking, it should reset it to where it doesn't have the thing in there. I think maybe the screwdriver is the mode that changes it. Let me check here. Knife, saw, file, screwdriver. There we go. Filters reset when empty. So if I put that in, take it out, now it'll reset automatically. But the hammer should have reset it because that's what it actually said it would do. Greg will tell me I'm wrong and why tomorrow, I'm sure. But that is basically it. Like I said, I'm going to be making all kinds of these because I love having one that holds less. The first thing it's going to do is replace all of these over here that are full of ash. And I have way too much ash. So that'll be a nice thing to replace that with. Let's go see if our glue is done yet. He added a bunch of mariculture things to... Really? Oh, crap. Oops. Let's try this again. Bear derped. I forgot to open it to the filter here, so it didn't put any of the glue in here. It put it all upstairs in the tank. Anyways, he did a bunch of mariculture related recipes for his machines for compat reasons. He also said he was going to add the mariculture book to the bookshelf. We don't have mariculture in this pack, so I can't test that, but it should definitely work now. The item rendering on mass storages and the item barrels no longer use vanilla default rendering and instead using his own rewritten vanilla item rendering. So it should be less laggy, I do believe, was the reason for that. So I'm not sure how it's different, but it's definitely different. Before I forget, it also looks better. Yeah, I agree, it does look a lot better. Because of that drum I showed you a little while ago, he added a lot of recipes for recycling, like the Ender IO tank can now be recycled. Extra utility drums can be recycled. Buildcraft tanks can be recycled. I'll come come back here and grab one to show you. There you go. I tried to remind him of all the different like single block tanks that were available. So I can't guarantee that I'm remembering them all, but I think those were, immersive engineering metal tanks were also recyclable. I checked that in my bear's den when I was checking out the update today. So those are recyclable also. And I need to get a glass bottle to do this. And none in there. And I'm going to swat this fly in about a second. Let's see. Do I have any over here? Let's see. Gregtech wrench. Being able to wrench a piston. If you have me in your Twitter thing, you'll see that I put out a video, tweeted out a video, which was basically a bug fix or a bear report to Greg about pistons and me thinking I broke the world. Basically, if I hit, why doesn't that send that out? I hate regular redstone. Can never figure out how to make it work. Let's see if I can make this work here. Give me put it here. There we go. But basically, if you wrench the head of it like this, it turns sideways. So he fixed it so you can't do that. Looks like you can't even turn it when it's extended anymore. So, can I turn it now? Now I can turn it. So, that apparently is how he fixed it. Don't have to worry about wrenching it and making it look like you destroyed everything anymore. Let's see. Signalium crucible recipe was added. So it can now be done in the alloyer machine thing that I have set up over here. There's now a recipe in here for doing it. And I'll show you that recipe here. If I can spell. So there is now a molten signalium. And can be centrifuged as usual. The recipe for it is molten red alloy, molten silver, and molten copper or annealed copper, and that makes your molten signalium. It is still the same materials and amounts, but I redid the math and found out that there is a way to turn red alloy into signalium with a few little additions. So now you can turn red alloy into signalium easily, and the old recipe for signalium still works. It just forms red alloy mid-process. So that's actually really nice, because even if I didn't want to do it in that one, I could do it in my upstairs one, because I have dispensers up here. And to make signalium, the old way you needed 10 redstone for one, and I only have 4 on this level and 4 on the upper level, so I only have 8 dispensers, so I couldn't do it that way. I had to hand feed it in. So this way I could do the red alloys first, put the red alloys in, and then put in the other ingredients needed for the signalium, or I can do it downstairs in my crucible alloyer. So that is a great addition that we can do molten signalium now. Let's see. Sensors and mass storages now update their display only once per second as opposed to one per tick. So if you sit here and just spam this thing, you can see the numbers change, but they don't change on every click. That way you're not lagging, mainly for like the thermometers. The thermometers and these kinds of sensors, the numbers can change so quickly that it was causing, I do believe it's world tick every time it changed, so it was causing a bit of lag. So by doing it this way, it doesn't do it, but adds a tick every adds a tick every second rather than every tick. I have no idea if I said that right, but it makes for less lag, whatever the hell. Let's see. The measuring pot can now pick up fluid blocks. In world might be helpful for tiny oil puddles. And let me find the right bag here. I have a universal fluid cell of oil from the other day when I was out and about grabbing oil, last update. So I want to try to put this here, and it should flow down into there, and I should have partial amounts. And grab the measuring pot here, and I should be able to, why does that say Buildcraft oil? Yeah, that, didn't think that was Buildcraft oil. Daggone it. Well, that ain't gonna work. Son of a gun. Yeah, I know. And I thought I had Gregtech oil. Well, I ain't gonna be able to show that then, daggone it. But I can show that it'll pick up the actual oil, though, in world, at least. So, you can see it picks it up. Now I have a measuring pot with 1,000 liters of oil. Doesn't look like I put it back down, though. So I'm guessing I'd have to use a canning machine to pull this out of here. Let's go see if I can put it into a tank. I know I can get it back out, so we'll just run up here and check real quick, because I have those tanks upstairs that I just got done building in the last video. Let's see, while we're running up here, gas burning engines, and with that I mean only the gas burning engines. Oh, I went to, well, I can come over here to this one. Let's see. Can now be turned off but not on. For that you'll still need an igniter using control covers. Alright, so can we put this in here? Yes, we can. Okay. So you can put it into a tank. Hopefully we can put them into those like the universal cell. I'll test that later. Let's see. And I made one of the control covers here, which would be this one here, redstone selector. I do believe this is the right one. I'm hoping it's the right one, because I still haven't got done testing all of the different covers, and this is one of them that I haven't tested, but I do want to try this here. Let's see. This makes gas burners easier to use than the other two methods, which would be coal or fuel. So I'm thinking this is for this type of thing here, to where we should be able to put this on here. Let me grab my thing here. And if this doesn't work on the first test, I'll do another video testing thing and try it. But okay, it must have to go on the box itself. Okay, it won't go on the front. So let's try it on the side here. And it won't go on the side either. So I apparently have the wrong cover, because it will not go on there. So Greg can tell me I got the wrong one, or I will figure it out later. But I put in controller just to show you how I came about it. You have a redstone selector and a manual selector. Knowing my luck, it's probably the manual selector. Skyra, if you want, I have the circuit already made. If you want to make a blank cover, we can try it real quick. Yeah, I wouldn't think it would be that, but I don't know what other one he's talking about other than a redstone one or activity detector. Maybe, but I don't know, because I never know when he types it like that exactly which one it is. Oh, it does say activity detectors. Never mind. So then the one that was on here should actually work. So this is an activity detector successful. So that should mean that if we put that on there, and do I have any redstone cables? Yeah, there we go. So that would mean that that would just work to shut it off. I don't have that other one made yet. Let's see if that, yeah, it's not shutting it off. So it's definitely not that one. We'll do some testing and see what we can figure out which one's right. So check back in probably the next video, because that'll probably be what I do tomorrow, is figure this out, and I'll let you know which one it is that does it. Let's see. Unless, wait a minute. Yeah, I can't put that on there. I was thinking if I could put, never mind. Let's see. Item barrel made of sealed wood and bits. We already did that. The wooden barrel is next. Let's go see if we have our bottle of glue done, which we probably did, and I forgot to put the daggone chest beside it, so it's probably despawned, because I always forget to do that. And yep, it most definitely did. So let's go grab another empty bottle, and we'll make this wooden barrel, and then we'll check out these drums. I went to the wrong room, as you do. I thought that was a gas one. Is that liquid? Well, son of a gun. Kerosene is liquid. Okay, so I screwed up. Thank you for showing me where I screwed up. So I'll have to go make a gas one, and like I said, I'll show that in the next one. I was thinking for some reason those were gas, not liquid. Alright, so there's our bottle of glue, and you can definitely eat it, because I'm trying here, because it says do not eat, but it has food and saturation. I might have to actually try to eat it here in a minute. But for the first one, we're going to do this, which makes the barrel, which can store up to 16 buckets or 16,000 liters. It will void any steam that enters it, because you should not be able to store steam. It melts down at 500K. Monkey wrench to toggle the automatic output, soft hammer to toggle the states, magnifying glass to see details. So, there we go. There is the barrel. And we'll put this over here next to it. And it says that you can use this to ferment things. So like if you wanted to make vinegar, Crazy loves this one, you can put grape juice in here and it will ferment over time and turn into wine and then turn into vinegar. Let's see, the wooden barrel and the plastic can won't accept covers on it, so you can't put a cover on this. They keep their fluid when mined, but are not stackable in inventory. Capacities are 16,000 liters for the wood one, 32 for the plastic one, and then we made the stainless steel one, which is the drum, which is 64. These can have covers on them. Let's see, and then there's also the tungsten steel and tungsten steel and tungsten ones. So we'll look up drum, and I really butchered that 4-letter word and I can't even type it. So drum, you have the stainless steel one here, tungsten steel and tungsten, which they hold the 256. As you see with the tungsten steel, there are only 6 things of said material to make it. They each have their own heat value. Something Skyra brought up is you cannot put molten tungsten in any of them, because unlike pipes and the crucible itself, they don't have a raised temperature. They're exactly the melting temperature of the material that they're made out of. But this is awesome that we have these, so we don't have to spend so much iron to make these drums here. We can now make them out of stainless, which does 64, or tungsten steel or tungsten, which does the same amount of these for a lot less material. These also will auto output to the bottom. So if let's see here, where is my wrench? We're going to do a little bit of testing here with this. Put that one on top. I'm going to go and grab me a bit of water. We'll grab distilled water because I have a bunch of it over here. So we'll grab a thing of distilled water here. And we're going to put this in the top one here. And magnifying glass says that it is definitely in the top one. And if we look here, use a monkey wrench to toggle the automatic outputs. So let's go see if I can remember where I put my monkey wrench. And there's my monkey wrench in my tool bag. And we toggle that. It will fill adjacent tanks, so that means that this one here will now have the 1,000 liter of distilled water, and this tank is now empty. So basically you could make a tank like upstairs there out of these just by stacking them up in a tower like the Buildcraft ones. And I haven't done the math, but Skyra seems to think that it would actually be cheaper to make a tower of drums than it would be to make a tank. And mathing is more of his job than it is mine. So that's what he plans to do, at least. Let's see. You didn't count it yet. Okay. Let's see. Note that this just works for the fluid only recipes. The fermenting thing we were talking about a minute ago. It doesn't need heat, it just uses time. You can't ferment things that take a solid in it. You can only do the fluid only. It's mainly meant for the alcohol stuff and potions. Duration depends on the amount inside the barrel and can take ages. It is measurable using a magnifying glass or a progress sensor. So hopefully Crazy will get one of these set up. I think she already has a way of making grape juice. So hopefully she'll get that set up soon and I can go over and check it out, because I don't do food over here, so I don't have a way of doing that currently set up. But it says it does multi-step fermenting all by itself, so it can do grape juice to wine, then to vinegar, for example, if you leave it sealed for too long. The plastic can is the only one that can easily be auto-crafted via the extruder. Remember that the stack size limitation does not apply to item barrels and mass storages. So you could put ender pearls in here and it would still hold the 10,000, has nothing to do with stacks. And I actually am glad I finished reading that because I didn't show the plastic one. Where is that plastic? There it is, the plastic can, which holds 32 buckets, melts down at 440, and its recipe is much different because it just uses some form of plastic, 6 same as the rest, and a cell shape in the extruder to make it. So that would be a nice way of holding like your fluids, your gases, and your fuels to bring them to a different place if you didn't want to pipe it all down from a tank or whatever. So that is the update video for this week. There's nothing else I can think of. That I've seen in this update that wasn't in the changelog. If you find anything that you think needs to be added, leave me a comment for everybody else. No, tank is actually cheaper than drums. Unless you are using wooden ones, then it is the same. Okay, thank you, Skyra. If you have any questions or comments, leave me a message, or you can leave one for Greg directly. I will gladly pass any that I get on to Greg, but you can always get a hold of him at his IRC channel or on the IC2 forums in the Gregtech 6 channel. So thanks again for watching, and have a great one.